Welcome back to Factorio Space Age. My name is Nilaus and we are back here. So in the next 2 episodes we're going to be undertaking a giant task, and that is about building a new spaceship that will get us to the Shattered Planet and back again. And on top of that, it'll also function as a replacement for this ship, which is going out there to harvest and also produce. So what we'll do is we'll make a different configuration. In the first episode here of these 2 episodes, I'll be making the modules that we need, and then in the next episode I will be putting them together to actually make the ship and send it out there and do a test and then tuning to see if it works. So why is this not working? Well, this one is there are certain ways of making Prometheum science. This way is actually building or creating the Prometheum science on the way out, and then it gets out and then it fills up the storage and then comes back and then it produces gets some more. So what I want to do is a change of this. I want it to actually go out, come back with a lot more. This is like 25,000. I need like hundreds of thousands, and then I want it to park over Nauvis and then just sort of consume or request spider eggs, and then once it has consumed all of the Prometheum, then it'll go out again and go out for several ones. So that will be one purpose, and the purpose will also be that I'll be designing the ship so that it can also just go straight to the Shattered Planet and get stuck there and then come back. So that is the grand scheme of things. Of course, it's going to be requiring a lot of legendary. We're using legendaries for everything exclusively. So if you're not on legendary, I don't know. I don't think you can make it. Well, I don't know. Maybe you can make it without legendary, but it's so much better with legendary. So what we're going to do is I have prepared a ship for us here, and I have also prepared like a lot of stuff that we think we're going to need. So let's talk a little bit about the modules that we need. We need a defense module. That's one of the very first things we need. Like, how are we going to be defending up front? And also collecting the Prometheum. We need a power plant, we need a rocket production, we need a railgun production, we need a smelting location, we need some cursed belt storage, and we need some engine unit, some rocket fuel production unit. Those are the things, and those will be the ones we design here today. I think that I want to design, well, also the hub and the sort of crafting part. We want to start with the front, because that's the defense. So if you are more interested in other parts, then by all means you can skip to that. I actually want to make this sort of aligned to two chunks. How big do we want to make this ship? Well, I am going to make it 4 chunks wide. Like, I'm going to make it basically like this. It's going to be big. That's the size of the ship. There we go. And you can just start requesting this up here. But we're going to be starting... yeah, that might actually be a little bit problematic. You know what we can do? We can also just do this, because this is about building modules. This is not about building the final product. So, what are we going to do here? We are going to get some things. Let's start with the defense. That one. So what we're going to do is we're going to be starting, and if we look at this one to see what the things are not working. When this one is out in the area here, and it gets really thick with the Prometheum chunks, then these are way too far apart. They're simply not able to pick up everything. And I want the ship to also fly fast. This is flying 400 kilometers here, but it slows down a little bit when it goes out. But I definitely want more collectors. So we're going to be building a pattern here that is going to be, and that's going to be that one. Like that and that. That will be basically the core pattern of this. Now we're going to make another big decision. First of all, we're going to be taking these out here. And it's now also important that this part I'm looking at here is actually the same as that one, because this is a repeatable pattern. So we have to think about it like this has to repeat here. So it's very close repeating. Now, the next big decision is gun turrets or lasers. We are actually in a position where we can use exclusively lasers. Why do I think that? Because if we look up here, then we look at these. This has dealt a lot of damage, but if you look at how rarely these actually fire, of course we're not out in the most intense area just yet, but these, what we'll see is that the rockets the explosive rockets will actually take out pretty much everything, and there's only barely a little bit that comes through. And as we go even further out, there'll be a higher density of promethium, there'll be a higher density, so the rockets are going to be doing proportionally more work, and there'll just be a little bit that passes through. So we're going to be doing a design that is using exclusively these parts here. The benefit of this is we do not need any production of ammo, and that's actually really intense, the ammo. So I think not using it is pretty efficient. So we're gonna put that one here. I also think that this one should probably be something like this, which will then also be, remember, everything has to be repeated like that. And then we need the rockets, because rockets are going to be like the main part of our damage. So if I want to make it, I'll try to make it something like this. And these will then be here. And again, important that it is repeatable. There we go. That is actually repeatable. We're going to take this a little bit further out, as far as we can. And then I'm going to be making another line here. There we go. And that should actually be it for this part. And these will be hard-coded to only get promethium. So interestingly enough, that when starting up, it's actually going to be a little bit starving, because I'm not going to be collecting any materials up front. We'll only be collecting that on the side. But that's just kind of how it is. There. So then that's one thing. Oops, that's the front module done. Front module is done. And it is now a repeatable module. And we can make it as wide as we want, and that means you can make it as wide as you want. Then the next part that we want is actually the side, because the side is also, yeah, it's equally important. It needs a lot less defenses, and I may overdo the defenses, to be honest. But I think that it's, yeah. I want to have railguns there, but I do not want to have legendary railguns. Difference is, you can see here, legendary railguns are going to shoot a lot of stuff that's completely irrelevant. Normal railguns, they will just shoot at anything. So the thing is, when we fly out here, there will be some things that have an inward trajectory that can bypass these. And they could sort of fly in this way. And then when the ship is big enough, they could hit down here. So just having these, even if they're not going to be shooting anything, then they're still, it's still a precaution. If I don't have them, then any big chunks that sort of floats in this way will actually destroy the ship. So I can't afford that. Therefore, we build a module that has basically this kind of format. I'm going to make it a little bit softer here, because I think that's way overdone. And there we go. We are going to be, these also should have some target priority. Let's see. I'm actually going to just copy the target priority for this, because that's fine. That's the target priority, and that is, it's all the huge, but also the big promethium chunks. And I think I've tested that, and I'm actually super happy with this constellation, because there will be a lot of promethium, and they will be shooting promethium as well. That likewise, I am going to do for the rockets. They also have a little bit of a special thing. They do the big everything, and then also the medium promethium. So we are going to be shooting a lot of the promethium chunks are going to be shot with rockets. And then lastly, we have over here just that one. Is that correct? Yeah, that's focusing on the mediums and then the smalls. And that should be taking care of all of this. Yeah, and then that also functions as part of this module. Good. So now we can use that up here and then build it. So this part doesn't have to be very big. So 4 on each side seems like a good module. And then we're going to be having one of these on either side, here and here. And they will not be done that like that. These will be collecting everything except the chunks. And they will be, of course, guided by the usual way. There. They're going to be guided by the same way where we'll have a belt. So now that we do not have normal gun ammo, we only have one belt for rockets, and that one belt for that will combine rockets and railgun ammo, and another belt for that will have what's it called? Yeah, this part here. So the chunks. So we are going to have that basically here and the other one here. And then we'll be getting them somehow in here. So that's... it does feel... No, it should be a little bit closer. Oh, this one's way too close. There we go. That's the problem. This one is too close. It needs to be out here. Yeah. So this will also be a little bit closer. That one. A little bit closer. Good. And basically we want to have also rocket launchers here. And we want it kind of in a dense location. Here. 2, 3, and 4. And then it'll have to be the same down here, and then there's a little gap in between here. That seems good, and that means this has to be in. And those are the locations we want to get this. All right. No. That's not actually correct, because this is the wrong belt. I will need to get this a little bit closer. All this a little bit closer. Let's just have to go in here. All right. And that gets us sort of a design. Is this replicated? No, it is not, because if I copy this one down here, it's not the same. Yeah, so that's kind of something we have to look into. Also, this is going to be a little bit... So this is the repeatable pattern that we are going to use. On the side, it is going to be like this, and then you can see that it matches. It makes sure that every single one of these will be having rockets coming in from the belt, and also that going into the railgun. So this is protected, it is set up, and this is going to do for the sides. There'll be something along the lines of the defense, the corner. We can always tinker with that once we figure out how big that's going to be. But these modules, they are now taking care of the protection. You need to do something here. I'm going to be sort of curving it a little bit out. Let me just give you a sample of what that could look like. So this is a corner, and it goes exactly up here, and then I have these 3 on the side facing outwards, and then I pick up this part here because there will also be a lot of Promethium that will be stuck. So these ones are also Promethium located, focused, and then we have like all the figuring out of how that's going to be, because this is Promethium and this is Promethium, but this is the resource belt, the asteroid belt, and this is the ammo belt here. The ammo belt comes there and merges in, and then we can just propagate it downwards, and we can do it on the other side if we want to. So that means we now have all the defenses done, and we can look at the next part. The next part is going to be the power plant. The power plant we're going to be designing here on Nilaus, because, well, it's going to be the same thing anyway, so we might as well build it here. It's going to be legendary. I think that's going to be the best way. It is going to be a fusion power plant, and we already have a fusion power plant with 4, and I think that's going to be enough. But this part here kind of has the issue that it's on both sides, and it works fine when you have things coming in with requesters. But here we don't have things coming in with requesters, we don't have things coming in with belts, so we need to do something different. And that's why I think I want to have something basically looking at this as being the inbound, and that means I'll need to get like an up here, and then something like up here, for example. Something along that line of just there, right? So we can go, that goes in here, and these two go in here, and you can go in maybe even like this. And then if we want to be really cheeky, then we just think about it in this sense. Good. All right, so that's going to be like the most basic of pattern. And then we need 28 of the power plants of these here. And then the question is just how the hell do we put those up here? Because we do have the transfer between these of the plasma, so we can actually just put everything out on the side. So here it's just a matter of trying to figure out some kind of pattern that we can build that will sort of get us everything we want. That's kind of something. Let's continue upwards and get that to the side. That should be able to get out as well. Jump, and then these can be here, and we're gonna get a lot more out there. And then let's see, do I need one more? Yes, I need one more. That is, how much is this? This is a total of 14, so we can just take this and flip it, and then it's gonna be the same on the other side. And then all I need to do is figure out if I can get all of the waste out of it. So let's go through them one by one. It's definitely going to be a line out here for collecting it. And that, this one, and you're going to be there, you're going to be there. This is another thing. Let's also just get it down here. Like that. And then I have to get from that one and out. We still need this here, but I think we can do that. Does that seem like everything is hooked up? Yeah, I guess it is. Nice. That was not so bad. Flip it again and get over there. And there might be like a little thing here or there. And then since this was kind of off center because of this way that they have to work, then I can just use this space here for reprocessing. And that will just be the reprocessing of that. And get that in here. And then I need to get it into, I guess it has to go into here and then also to that one. It has to go into both. There. And just some speed modules. And that will now give us 47, and this is 10 each, so that's 40. So 47 is enough, and that's basically going to be the design of this part. So we have a module here for the power plant. Pretty damn simple. Is it missing anything? The only thing is missing is like that one here, which for getting that in, and that's it. Cool. All right. Well, that was easy. Then let's move on to the next part, which is rocket production. We have a really good module for rocket production, I think. That one here. This is 2 modules, but we're going to keep it as that. And then use that as a foundation. We're going to be just making that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine that all our resources come out on this side. Or maybe that way, but whatever. It comes out on this side, so we need to... What I do not like is all of these. I do not like this part. The fact that there are speed modules in here, that just seems like a clunky way of doing it. If you want more speed, then use more modules. Or more beacons. That seems cleaner. And come on. There. Alright, so we need to see how much this is. Not enough. We also need a... Let's see if we already have that over here. Do we have a cool module for... Yeah, this seems like a pretty cool module. No, it's because this is getting in on belts, and I do not want it to get in belts, but it kind of needs something like this. So we also need that coming in from a little bit better spacing, a little bit better, oops, a little bit better spacing of this here. So if we have these two, they're producing 90 per second. So we want this to consume 90 per second as well. So I guess we just throw in some more modules and see how that pans out. There, and there, oops, here, and here, and here. Let's see. Oops. 92, perfect. So this is pretty much at ratio. So we just need to clean this one up a little bit. It's very important that even though you can, then you should not do this, because that screws up the ratio between these. So I'm going to get you out here because we're definitely going to need more space. These two, let me just get that over there. All right, so what we need here is, we don't have those yet. The crushers. We're going to need a lot of crushers. That will be, and this one needs to be available here. And this will be crushing, not legendary. Aha, I was about to say it, and very important to that. There we go. There. And you will go in here. But I also need, oops. this. And I actually, yes, it sets 2. 2, I found that to be the best number. Because these have productivity nearing 290. We're nearing the maximum here with 300 productivity. So let's work our way towards that. And each of these are now working at ratio. Let's have a look at this. It's pretty good ratio. Like there's a slight surplus, and a slight surplus. Or there is a surplus, and that's all that matters. And then we do this. And I can now go water almost all the way through. We can just, oops. I can just take this a little bit further in. Then I'll be having room for, because I'd really like this to be connected. That means I now have water made sure. So I think that something like water and liquids or iron is going to be like, see, oh, here and here. That one. Why even? Oh, okay, this looks nice. And then I'm going to be putting this out on a belt. I'm going to put this out on a belt, on a stack belt like this, which will go like that. Because this is where they pick up from. And then they go back on this belt, which means from here into that location, and then they combine onto a single belt, which will be outbound somewhere. And that means this can also be now moved closer. This one. Can it be closer than this? No, it cannot be closer than this. This is about as close as we can make it. This is a nice module. What do we need now? What this one needs is just the iron part. So we just need 61 iron, and if we could say that we get the liquids pumped in, then I just need something here. Let's see that. There. And let's put some of that. Okay. Can you be in the middle then? Alright, so how much is this producing? 144. That's enough. So you can go out here. So what I could do was I could do... Oh dear. Like this. And that goes in here, and that goes in here, and you are going to be outputting like that. On the other side, you're going to be outputting here, and that goes into this part, which I guess is also easier to do. Yeah. Then it kind of feels the same, right? That feels the same. And the good news is about this, then we can just flip it, and we get the whole damn thing replicated, right? There we go. So how much are we now producing? We are now producing 61 rockets, and the belt out here can carry 120 if it's stacked. So we can just do 2 of these modules. Now, this module is, it's got enough iron, it's got just barely enough of the rockets here, so all of this looks pretty much at ratio, and it does consume quite a lot of carbonic chunks. It needs 577 liquid iron and some water. So water and iron, not a problem. We'll deal with those. The only thing we then have to do is then look at the railgun, because we kind of want this to be a module that is also including the railgun. So I'm going to move you a little bit up, and then we're going to make the railgun. So how does the railgun work over here? Okay, it's a thing, but I don't really... We're gonna need much better rail gunning here. So let's go a little bit crazy with this. Oh, funny how I don't have enough of that. There? Oh, you're in the way now. 9 of these. And modules. These are... Let's go crazy with this. And also modules on the other side. Wow, this is an old school build, isn't it? Alright, so if when this is built, we can see how much that actually produces. So this is a good number, 24, because it consumes half a belt of steel and less than half a belt here and about a full belt here. So if I can make a full belt inbound of the coils, I can make a partial belt in here of combined iron, steel and explosives, and then I can get this one outbound as well. We're going to use that, my favorite pattern here, this one, and that will be outbound, outbound, and these are going to be inbound. They will not be too fast. Like each one of these is consuming 23 plus 11 plus 5. That's not a problem for one build here, and these are going to be grabbing that. So we have our design scale here, and that will be like this. Okay, yeah, this is pretty good. Now we just need to get some smelting on board, and the smelting will be enough for steel, and it'll be enough for this. If I'm moving this a little bit inwards like this, then we can actually build. It should be pretty straightforward to build this. Let's get that. Yeah, this will just be steel, and that will be basically going out on a belt here. You're gonna get that out, and we'll basically have the same as one of these, just like that. Nope, it will have the other one, this one. There. Is that gonna be enough? We definitely need a module or speed module in between. Yeah. So let's see if that's enough to feed it. It is enough explosives. It is enough steel. Good. So the beautiful thing about this part is that we can now squish it all the way up like that. And now we have pretty much a module. We just need a little bit of water inbound as well. So, and this one is going to be making some liquid iron here. And we also need some coils here as well, and some water. So just a little bit more, and then we're good. And this is actually the module as it is completed. What I've done is I have made this. This is a pattern that I really like, and in order to both get iron and copper and then balance it itself, I have one here in the middle that makes the calcite. The calcite goes into these two, and the ice goes out, just gets thrown overboard. Then I have an iron maker towards the iron, and then I have an iron and copper maker towards the copper. The iron and copper maker just keeps feeding the copper, and then it says any excess iron goes out here. Then any excess iron is going in here, but it only goes in, or the other one, the one that's dedicated iron, only goes in when there is at least 100 or less than 100 already in here. So this means that it'll only top up. I don't need to have this one output any iron to sort of vent it, because I will always be using some iron, or I'll actually be using, this design here uses more iron than this one, produces, because of the steel in here, plus all the iron in here. And there is no way that I'm going to be in a situation where I don't consume any rockets. So I can guarantee that this one will always work, and it will never be sort of oversaturated with iron and therefore get stuck. There will always be iron start, and this one will be producing. So this is it, and you can see if we take the whole module, use our mod rate calculator. Oops, I need to get all of it here. We can see that it's full of green lines all the way down, and the only ones that are not green, they're the ones here. That's the raw resources inbound. Copper is lacking, but that's okay, because if we look at the copper coils, it is way overscaled compared to what it is. It's actually double what we need. So having a little less than we need is not a problem here. Then the other part is down here with the water. Water is also a slightly deficit, but remember the water only goes into the explosives. And if we look at the explosives here, the explosives are also overproduced by some amount. So I think that this little deficit here corresponds to that little surplus here. So that's just how I'm going to be saying that works. And then as we have it, we have an outbound of railgun ammo. We have a combined belt out here. This one of a full belt of, or not a full belt, but a double-sided belt of rockets and double-sided belt of rockets. My intention is to build two of these modules, one on this side, one on this side, nice and symmetric. Okay, so that was all the ammunition. We have the defense, we have the ammunition, we have the power plant. What do we need now? Now we need the worst thing. The the cursed belt storage. Oh no, the cursed belt storage. I'm gonna put you over there just so that you are somewhere. Right, what do we mean by that? First I have to explain the cursed belt storage. What the hell is this monstrosity? So if you know, just skip ahead or just fall asleep or whatever. If we look at these chunks here, these chunks, they do not stack. Stack size 1 and rocket capacity 10. So you need to store them. If I then put them into a storage, then each of these cargo bays, legendary cargo bays, has a storage capacity of 50 chunks. That means 50 chunks takes 4x4, 16 tiles. But if we look at one belt segment, actually contains 8. So we don't need. We have 16 tiles of belts times 8. That's way more. So just a single belt would be way better storage than having it in cargo bays. Then on top of that, we can say, well, if we have underground belts, then we are having multiple belts in the same tile because they go underneath each other. Each color can go underneath each other. That means, like, if you look at these tiles here, where somewhere where they have 4 different types of belts, that means there's actually 4 times 4 belts at every location, and then we can also sort of go the other way as well, and then that means it's actually 5 tiles. So that means each of these can stack up to, in this case, like 32, 40. So my intention is I want to do something different than this. There are 2 things I don't like about this. One is that it's using yellow belts, which means that the whole capacity of this one is only 15. So I'm going to skip the yellow belts and only go with red, blue, and green belts. That means I can add a belt capacity of 30, which is much more manageable because it's going to be a half of a full belt. So I can take one belt and split it into 2 chunks. The other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to be infinitely scalable. You cannot make it infinitely scalable if you have yellow belts as well. So that's not working. So what we need to do is we need to make a scalable. Whew, that was noisy. Let's actually just get some of this in here so we get some of these to copy from. Right, so let's look at it and from a scalable perspective. If we do like this, so that goes in opposite directions. Then I'm going to do the same thing with that one and go back again. And you are going to go in, and then you're going to go back. Good. And then let's take all these. Oops. Also put it up here. This one down there. And then if we want to say, well, I could do this like this. Sure, not what I wanted. What am I doing here? I want this in here. Like that. And like that. Good. So what I'm basically saying is that if I have this, then this tile here is actually tileable. It has 3 different colors. It has it has 3 different colors, so that works, and I can just keep copy pasting that. What I can then do is I can also do it that way, and then go back, and go in, and go back, go in, and go back. So now there's 4 tiles everywhere. Here, and this one goes there, that way, and there, and this one. So this is a tileable design. If I can just do this, then I can just keep tiling it as much as I want. Great. Okay. But the issue with this is that it is only 30. So if I get one full belt in here, of Promethium chunks, then I actually have to split it into 2 of these. So let's pretend that we have 2 of these. And then I can do this part here. So now I have some other design here. This is also still tileable, and I'll just need to sort of feed each of those separately and then bring it back. So here we are. Let me explain. It comes in here. It splits out it comes in 60 per second, and it splits out into 2 times 30 per second. This 30 per second goes in here, goes on the green line, down, up, down, up, down, up, so on and so forth. Here, goes into the blue line, it goes down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then it goes from here. Where's the blue line? Blue line is there, and it goes onto red line, back and forth, and it goes here. And then the 2 red lines combine into 1 green line, which then goes back and forth here. That means that now I have something that comes in from the top and goes down to the bottom. And not only that, I also have something that is tileable, scalable, and there we go. So this is one of these modules, right? And oh, right, that's not really what I wanted. Yeah, okay, so I actually need like a little bit cleaner here. There. That one. Oops. Ah! Oh, crap. Is it connected? Yeah, it's connected. This one, and then it has to be flipped. And these here, once I got this, then then it works. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's here. Good. So now it's this part here that I can replicate, and that means I can take you out, put you down here, take the other one in, and add it. So we can just add more and more and more and more and more here, as much as we like. So that's the intention. And if I then have 1 belt, or I have 2 belts, or 4 belts, I'm going to be probably, for the design up here, having 4 belts. So we're going to have this cursed design like 1, 2, 3, and 4, basically. And then we're going to be making it a lot bigger. But the idea is that it then comes in from the top, because it gets collected here, goes down the side, goes into the storage, and then comes out the bottom, which then has to go back. And that's going to be the last part of the design, I think. Well, there's some second to last, but then we need the actual production around the hub. So what we need is, we need to make, this is the middle. Yes, this is the middle. So we're going to be making 2 of these. They are going to be, that. There. Oh, they're somehow not in here. Right, and they will be getting... There are only 4 locations they can go in and out. So these will be returning. That one, and one will be for spider eggs, and the other one will be for... what is that? That is... Oh, actually, that should not be a stack, because I don't want things stuck in the stack and sort of... This one. Spider eggs. And you could actually override stack size to 10, so that it only scoops up in batches of 10. It's nicer. And this one will be there. That one. Here, and flip it on the other side. Good. So how fast does it need to be? Not very fast, because the issue with this is definitely always going to be how the hell do we get things inbound? Because now, let's say we get, in this dream scenario of having 4 of these builds, then we're going to need to get inbound here. How much can we actually consume? Honestly, not enough. We cannot get more than this. I could sort of split them apart, but then I don't have the access in here. Then I could put them up on the side, and you know, ultimately I just decided that this is how we're going to do it. I don't think this is going to be really the practical issue with this, but this is handling all of that. And then of course throw in some laser turrets in case something spawns, and that means this gives us also an opportunity for us to build some storage, because we do need a lot of storage here, so we can build storage around that location. Then we do have to have some kind of method to delete all the biter eggs, because what happens is that we're going to be going out getting hundreds of thousands of chunks in the cursed storage, and the cursed storage will just flow in here, and we have enough of what are they called, quantum processors. That's fine, but then we need the biter eggs. So I'm going to be parked over now and just keep requesting biter eggs until I don't have any more chunks. Once I don't have any more chunks, I'm going to leave. Once I leave, I will have a lot of biter eggs that are still around, and those will need to be destroyed. So what I need to do is I need to build something. Up here is where we're going to be building our power plant. So we do need some kind of... I was thinking... First I was thinking like take it off and just throw it off the side. But there's kind of blocked. But so there's another option, and that is actually just using... there. Something like this. And... then we can just go... get stuff in here. Get stuff very fast in here. This will only be biter eggs. Yes, but not only that, it will also be biter eggs that... actually, I don't want... I'd much rather have the red line being something that's enabled or disabled. Yeah. And we will be reading the moving to and moving from. That means if you are not parked over Navis, when it's parked over Navis, the value is 3. So when it is less than 3, that means we are now not parked over Navis. So that means we've started leaving. And once we started leaving, throw all of this out and just delete it as fast as possible. So that's a pretty clean way of getting rid of our... Oh, I misplaced it. Pretty clean way of getting rid of our eggs very quickly. Maybe not as quick as just throwing it out overboard, but it's still quick enough that it shouldn't be a problem. And then the last part is the rockets. The rockets will be a little bit interesting. Well, they will be. The reason why they're going to be a little bit interesting is because we need to figure out how we're going to be building this design. So I really like this design. If we think about it, then if we do the same thing, I could kind of do 2 of these. 1, 2, if I'm looking at the size of it. Yeah, pretty much. So let's do that. Start by doing into the middle, and that's gonna be, let's start like this. 3. How many we want? We want it so that it goes here, here, and here. And then it goes out again the other side. And there is... it's hard to sort of argue whether you... I don't want to go out here. Let's see. That one. There. Okay, so... if I do this build... and then... yeah, of course I can't flip it. I'm just going to do this. Like that. And you're going to go out. Right. So this leaves a good space down here for building the rocket engine or the rocket fuel. And I think the rocket fuel is something we've done before, and I don't know if this is the right one. No, it's not quite the right one. So we can actually, we're going to have to design that again. I have a really cool module that works very well. Let's see, we're going to get, let's just get some of this. That's probably some of the stuff we need anyway. Right, so we need the calcite is the main one. Let's build a line here. This is the asteroid belt, so this is going to be leading off of that. Then we need on either side, because they need to... yeah. This will be that good flow, and this will be the other one good one. Here and here. Okay, because now that makes it easier for us to say one of these producing calcite goes into these two. That means the only thing I'm missing is I need, well, that one here, and you can go in here, and then of course that will be changed to the carbonic one. And then carbon again, carbon again. Actually, could I go in a little bit there? And then maybe just get it one tile further out like this. All right, so with this design, how much are we making? We're making 4,500. If we look at the, oh, that's funny. How many do we have of this? I have 31, and that is 31 times 300 per second. That's 9,300, and this one is producing, wow. Comparatively, 2 of these modules is about 9,000. So we can go full thrust on all of them if we just have 2 of these modules, and I think that's good. So this is the module that we need. It's gonna have this part here as well. You're gonna go inbound and inbound and inbound, right? And you're gonna be 1 off here, and then somehow, somewhere, I'm gonna take the ice chunks out. And I'm not even gonna bother with these ice chunks somewhere else. I'm just gonna take them up there. Cool. So this means I can build this module, and there's room for 2 of these modules right in here. We do also need some water, so let's try to do some water sort of symmetrical around the middle line. And let's see. Like that. Here. And this will be water inbound, and it's definitely gonna need a module, another speed module. Obviously this is gonna be overstacking that, but it's just it. Oop, that is here. Inbound, and then go over to the other one. You are gonna be inbound here. That's great, and I think it kind of works. We don't have a storage of water in this design. Don't really care. I don't think that's necessary. The whole thing is working. I don't really feel that we need a little bit of storage here to start with. There. And the reason why I'm taking it like this is because, let me take that out. This part here. We want to see how far below, how far down we can get. Like, could I build it here? No. I could build it here? Yes. Because I do need, like, this pattern. And then that's going to be blocked, but it can be saved like this. And then... Good. And then all it needs is some... 2 of these. There, 2 pushing, and these will be controlled, flow controlled. And I'm gonna do the same thing over on this side. These will be just some flow control up here. Can I just do that? Nope, I cannot do that because then it gets too close. There. And then... Yeah, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Just getting... like that. Perfect. And then all I need to do is take this design and flip it, and then I can do it the same thing on the other side here. So with a little bit more tinkering, then we have a really nice design here. This I like it. It's going to be picking up here. It's just making it. It's not wasting anything. Well, it's wasting the ice, but who cares about that little bit wasted ice? And we have a nice asymmetric build here. There we go. Let's make it symmetrical, and then it'll be ever so slightly nicer. Right. So all we need to do now is control these pumps with some kind of measure, and that's going to be on the speed control. So now you can see that we have all the ingredients we want. We have a front protection or front defense. We have corner defense. We have side defense. We have the production of explosive rockets. We have the production of railguns. We have the smelting involved in that. We have the storage. We have the production of the science, and we have the cursed storage, as well as and the power plant is still on the ground, but we still have that as well, and we have the fuel here. So now all we need to do is just piece it all together on a giant ship. Once that's done, we will send it out and test it, and then do some tweaking and turning, and try to set up some schedule. One will be going out and going straight for the shattered planet, and the next ones will be going out towards the shattered planet and then come back once the storage is full. We have to design these cursed storage so that they are big enough. My idea is I'd like 400,000. That's just kind of what I think would look nice. That means like I need to store 100,000 in each of these, and it's also going to be a little bit of a challenge. But you know, a big ship, it doesn't really matter. It with all these thrusters, it can fly fast enough, and we can keep the thrust going all the time. So that's going to be it for today. I'll be continuing this and piecing it into a giant spaceship. So if you want the spaceship design, then that will be available in the next episode in the blueprint package for Patreon supporters. So thank you everyone who's supporting on Patreon. I'll be making some modules for this. Each of these modules will be available in a blueprint package so that you can build it yourself if you want to start tinkering and build your own ship while waiting for the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.